Good morning, folks. It's 5:21 a.m. on the 10th day, 8th month, 2023. I'm trying to get this storm to load here and start rolling. And there it goes. What I've done is I took the data back to the 8th. So we can get a couple days if watching this rolls in, big puffs of crap that fed into things that caused a very particular outflows. I know a beam has shot out from here out in that direction because I seen it in the New Zealand 2.1 geoengineering group. They even made a comment, which is rare. I don't do that often. See how the moisture dissipated? The beam came out here, and as the chem came across it, easier to show you that on that one. As chem comes across it, it just dissipates. It causes straight lines to form in the flow, and basically it's pinning the moisture south. So as this flow is impeded along that beam line, things that are behind it are going to tend to circulate that way because they can't go over there. As the heated outflow will come from that beam toward that way and up that way, and it's shit kind of straight out in this direction here. And I seen it on one of the groups, so that's my comment on that. Yeah, I ain't got time. Atmospheric perturbations through next-infrared radar are heating things up, stripping ions. Look at the chemtrail out here that's showing up even on this one. And I've got lots of data to go over here today. The biggest, quickest heads up I'll give you is on the 14s. I'm looking at about 20 to 25 centimeters of rain in some areas of the North and South Island of New Zealand along the Tassie coast. I was looking at about 10 to 15 in some spots. So let me see if I can find a live feed so I can read your comments and wish everybody a good and pleasant morning. I hope you're all having just such a lovely day. Oh, let me turn my own voice down here. I muted myself. Mutation of the volumation. Alright, oh, it looks like a big chem stuff deployment here headed toward the Penis Insula. And you got a bit of an outflow boundary here going on. She's crossing pretty smooth though, and that's nice to see, but that's going to do the wrap around, and that's your biggest concern. So I'm going to go with that, and I want to show you again how you've had another flare in one of those where eyes is not facing the area of magnetics of another CME has come to visitate. So I want to show you here is right. I'm going to roll this down. Why am I going so slow? The internet's crawling here this morning. Stream looks all right. So I'm going to go back to the beginning here. I'm going to roll you the ECMFers, W's there on his side over here, the economic motherfuckers, and they can't give an honest forecast for nothing. And then I'll tell you what I see coming because the pressure said this had to happen, so I'm watching it unfold. Is this one's coming over from Australia, which is going to do a bit of a hammer along their coastline today. This is going to go out and wrap around. See this other one here? It's going to have a kicking effect. Some of its wind's actually going to shear a bunch of that moisture off. But there's big long troughs of pressure out here with long lines of stuff to bring things in from this one. Cold air pumping up, boom, because that's why they're getting that one there. When it did the turn and it met that and had to turn it again, boom, dropped her condensates right there. That's a predictable line. But that's going to come to haunt you a bit too, because look at the wind lines. Look at the conveyor of moisture being done by the gears, as so to speak, out here, or the little wooden spoons turtle there that are giving us all the paddling. It looks like a bird beak. Oh gosh, too much map work. Right. Is this rolling? No. No, it's just sitting here and I'm yakking. So these pressures here have got a lot to do with what's going to go on, and this here is going to interact. If a suction comes this way, but you're going to see much more of a stripping of this storm. Cold air's coming up from this direction, and it's a mighty bitey indeed. And I'll poise this a momentation here, let you see. Boy, you get some temp traps coming. Yeah, your whole island that day at that time. If this is, that'll be about 3 o'clock in the morning, your time, New Zealand, and Saturday morning, you're looking very cold, and some of these pockets are cold. They're frosty. Yeah. Oh, so button up, buttercups. Watch that black ice on that roads. Be very careful out there. Yep. See it? Very cold pockets, and of course cold air drops, and so You'll be isolated pockets that'll be every bit of that, and then evaporation times of the dawn that'll drop. It has to, because that's a natural thing to happen. Oh, look, if you're going to go up there by, let's see, that'll be about 8 o'clock in the morning my time on Tuesday, right? But you'll also be contending with the what's going on here. How many lows can you make? I don't know. Just let a politician give a speech, and you could count the lows when you're done. This one's going to snap off on its own on that tendril, and that's going to just impact, but it's not going to be a super duper well organized, nothing like you're seeing out here. Okay, so calm your farms. I'm talking about the total inundations you're going to get really is coming on the late part here. And here comes the smackaroo. What as they meet the two moisture levels, they're very good at this. So you'll have EMF going out here to create the flow. So this goes over and it stays down, so you can have it come through, and then really wet this part here coming through. And you'll expect to see some snows with this when it comes across. Which, well, it has to happen because your temperatures are going to be just hitting on it, and the new snows showing on the 10s kind of give you a hint. Wah, 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 wah. The frozen spine. But I'll go right back to that. Right as wintertime descends, wintry mix. When you see the big dents in the little, that means sometimes you'll be getting rain. Sometimes you'll get pellets of ice. Okay, so you be very careful out there. Uh, don't take this kind of weather and these temperatures lightly. As the lows, there's so many lows forming from the vortices they got going, and you've had another really big beam and go across the planet again. And they didn't do a good job hiding it. So I'm going to show it to you. One of them, there's like 3 huge ones went on. One, each and every major cyclone that's going on this planet, or anti-cyclone system, depending on what direction it's spinning, towards the rising sun, spin-wise. Like this here, that's cyclonic. That's anti-cyclonic. No matter where you are in the world, that direction determines that type of naming. And now wind strength determines if it's a tropical storm, tropical cyclone. Is it a hurricane? Is it a hurricane? Is it a typhoon? It would be dependent on what part of the world named that particular type of storm, but to call it an anticyclonic wind or a cyclonic wind. Hurricane, northern hemisphere is always anticyclone. Spins counterclockwise. Just give you a little quick definition. Did you see what's coming? Did you see the curving ball? Whammo. You guys getting one aimed. So these radars down here are going to have to be full on beaming. That there's going to have to chuck a big bunch of heat down here to do the separation. You'll end up with a bit of a low bubble up going on here where it'll tend to start pulling the high rush in between these two and fighting. And so that's going to tend to bring about a bunch of cold air up. The streamer from Africa, from all this out here in the Indian Ocean, is set up to come this way. So this high is doing a huge block, and so it's going to be a big beamination. XMIT will definitely be doing that. It's the closest one, the most logical one to heat the atmosphere, and a couple other devices out here will assist that. And so we'll be looking for the beams for that one here, probably about here on Friday, as they walk it across. Yeah, it's already beaming now. Like, it is firmly in control of the Indian Ocean with its pulsators right now. It's walking this low in over here. I'll show you. It's right over on, which world sat view do I have it on? I think this one here. Give it a moment to load. And see that waveform there? Now, every day you're not going to get one of these while Australia is facing it. Ain't always going to be pointing straight at the one known, very well known EMF device. It's very well known. That's the sun setting. So this will be the best images you get of this. And that was at 1:30 a.m. my time, just when I woke up. And I was sitting outside looking at the stars. You can see the big center of the pulse. You see lots of bombs have been used to propagate the waveform where the main signal went. Right there. Lots of chem was used in this. Bomb, 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 there and there. The number 3 in the sky. There's the 2, there's 8. Just give you some number. 8, 6, 7, 5, 10 cam bomby bombies. 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 0. For your behind. The eyeball looking at you. I'm watching you. Look at the pulsation here. Yeah, this is not just a gravity wave. And I went and looked. We had an X flare. Hey, main contact point of the X flare is right over here. You guys are in the clear. You shouldn't have that waveform there. That is completely wrong. You were not even facing the sun. I determined that that excuse will not be tolerated as a real thing by me because I have my determinants. Of course, I go and look. Yeah, I don't believe. When they need to make a big beam, right, it's showing up. And it lasts for hours and hours. It isn't just a quick pop. Ooh, they just electrifying the atmosphere themselves and showing you where they're doing it. Right, this should be like less EMF, blah, right over here from that. And you guys are, and right here is not in that red line. It's not even in the purple line. It's just not feasible. But the beam line, it shows me where it is. So I went and looked. You know I did, right? Hey, so where's my TPW? Look at this blast that came across Australia here, all the way down toward the Antarctic. All the way from up here. Pop, 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 pop. Now this here is an actual big storm. Now if I go all the way over here, you go over here, down South America way. See if I can get that to jump. See the beam? Look at it. Zzz. Two jumps at a clock there, right? Hey, how much is each jump? 3 hours. So, for 6 hours, they ain't just facing there. That ain't how that works. That's just not happening. That wave 4 passes the earth. They ain't buys their bullshit excuses as they manipulate these storms. And I'll run this into motion. I think I get this on 120 hours, don't I? Because they blast the hell out of these storms. One of my huge beams shoot out the ass of it. Here, that's not going to show. Let me go down on bingo. Let's bring it all on in. Let's just document the weather manipulation, the using and moving of the moisture itself, using microwaves, bombs. It's a chemical catalyst one. Done with that. There's the beam coming down from here. Where did it come from? Look what Hawaii did. See the blast? I think I have it over here. Let's see if I can find this. Took some mimic screenshots yesterday. Here we go. Yeah, at my time yesterday here, I caught this beam kicking out here. See it? Watch. I had Hawaii kick a V out like this, so I suspect the SBX is right there where my middle finger is, and you have another one behind it, because there's more than just one. And some kind of an EMF ship is kicking out here. One's following the storm. Could even be a plane. They have radars on them. I haven't got into that part of it with you guys yet. Right? This is one of the screenshots I took of this beam. Which one was that? And I took this one here. This will be a slightly different timestamp where you can see which way they're panning. There's a stayed hard on one side of the wiper and that one flattened. So it's running up against the moisture here, panning south, trying to keep this guided in that direction. This one's going to come very close. But it looks like it's going to get eaten by the one behind it because all the way over here, oh, this is a big image that I have to go through for you guys. I get LEDs. I take a lot of shots of what goes on. That's the wrong one. Okay, let's try that again. Alright, this is what live gets you. I hope it's streaming okay. I got lots of shots. This is a real good close-up of the beam and what they did from Hawaii area here. They put a big scalar over the entire island. And a beam went right over the top of them. It did. And this is them hitting that storm that's behind this one that's going to curve more toward Tokyo. It is. This one here is going to cream the peninsula. They turned their radar on over here and pinned this south and kept this over South Korea. And I got all that loaded. The weather manipulation that's going on today is very, very blatant. And the beams are very real and are going on. And you can believe I'm keeping an eye on it. And so here's what you got now. You had a big blast go over the top here. They're going to get an earthquake in us. There's no way they're not. I wouldn't be surprised if it was somewhere along here. They're definitely going to catch it through here. The moon position's perfect for it. See the blast? There's a ship out at sea here. What do I have to make the bzzzt noise for you? Like the tin foil in the microwave. Bzzzt. You got so much aluminum in the body. You're the tin foil. The microwaves are all around you. Look at the coast over here. Where their excuse of this CME hit, the biggest perturbations were far, far away from it in the zone of stuff that didn't have it happen. Now, they're liars. We are being lied to by our oppressors who want you to think there's a bunch of climate change going on and it's your fucking fault and your cows burping and farting is the coast. But no. All they're doing is putting family farms out of business, making fake fucking food over here in this goddamn place here, taking chickens from here, bringing them there, selling them back over here, and telling you they're saving the world. How dare they? Try to tell me I'm stupid. Did you see him hit that band of moisture and drive it south? Pow! That was a sudden movement. Pow! Watch. Watch the weather manipulation. I'll bring this down to the 1 hour now. I could take it even closer. Let's do this last 24 hours. This will give us 1 hour jumps. Jump, jump. Okay, we have to go 48. Time span 48. Mimic TPW toll. There's the fryer. Stopped right around. One pulse went there, one went over the top, and one went here. I said that's 1, 2, 3 layers of the atmosphere got hit. That's a hell of a device they've got there. They got a new toy. They must be funded by billionaires. Even the storm here had a sad face at the end. Oh no. Camera suck. See the big pulses up here manipulating this river of moisture here, forcing it up here into the corridor north of the Dominican Republic and all that, and it could hand it off to Arecibo, which could force it here either over Florida or into the Gulf. Got a line here that came down. She's coming through and all. USA, you're looking at about, you're going to have a hurricane. I don't know, what's this one supposed to be named after? Master Blaster. Master Blaster will never own Burger Town. And Mr. Burrs will not think it's so excellent when he owns nothing in a fucking jumpsuit in prison, awaiting the destiny. The destiny. Yeah, did you see the beam? See how they white it out? They try to take it away. They do not want you to see this. The not seers. Notsee. Not see. Facts. Penis is a boy. A vagina is a girl. That is a fact. Prove me wrong. Fill out a government form which asks you what gender you are. Most of the time, it only offers you 2 choices. It says, I think I hear a bunch of bullshit and unscientific fact, and a chromosome's a chromosome, and no moaning whores ever gonna change that shit in my world. Yeah, we'll woo like Nature Boy, Ric Flair, and it, but it's too early in the morning. Big, huge pulses coming over here. Look at this curve. See at the end here, the pulsation of a beam. That's going to pin that. It's going to force it and continue over here the inundations through Myanmar, Western Bengal, Nepal, and Bangladesh. I think I got everything right. That's Pakistan. You guys got to get your geography down. Well, that's okay. They're going to change it all anyhow. As they change all the names in the bing, bang, bong. Evidently, some of that name changes you've seen at the airport. Here's a little fact check for you. It was done because it was for a month of some awareness. And just for that, it was done. So it was a political move to garner your business, to make them feel sensitive to something. Look at the whammo here. in here. Look at what Hawaii did. They aimed that destiny to somebody else. That storm probably should have come over to tap them. They're long overdue. And this one here ain't coming. It's going to get eaten by this one here because of the EMF beams that said so. They've manipulated them air masses, heated outflows, atmospheric heaters, with various ones. To point out one of them is to not know because you ain't got a picture of it doing it. But I suspect that's the SBX program device that did that I showed you earlier. This is coming in and was absolutely aimed. And there's no way it wasn't. So I'll show you that right now. You got to see this. Look at this move. Watch the move as this comes in. This is the Korean Peninsula here, the Penis Insula, and they're doing it now. They're pinning this storm. They're absolutely pinning it. If it doesn't show it on this one, I'll go back in time a little bit. I was watching it this morning. How these radars had come on. Bzz, bzz, bzz. This one came on and gave a big circle blast. See it over here? They have so heated up the bay that all the outflow is pinned this moisture. It cannot go that way. It can really hardly go this way at all. It has to come into China through one corridor through here. It is. If anything, it should briefly go out to sea and come back in. Yeah, there's no... Korea has set the path. I seen it earlier. It's not really showing up as well now. You can see what that station did there. Look. What's that? The Lions. The Lion. That one went blaster, and this one went boom over the top. Boy, did you see the double hump there? It's a bam move. Let's bring it right on home there. Let's catch this. All right, we got him. You see, that's a pull your pants down move. We caught him, and then get it paddling. We are going to show this. We're going to show the atmospheric perturbation with NEXRAD radar, and they won't even hit. That's an actual big station, so they'll have one of them new dipoles in that one. It's beaming that layer of the atmosphere and picking up that returns. Got that one giving that return. Or all the spikes are. That's a lot of sparks going there. A spark gap creation. When it comes back down, it has a magnetic pulse it releases, ionizes things, and can create little mini flows and vortexes, updrafts, downdrafts, thermals. Jin Long. But you see, the atmospheric manipulation of storms goes on all the time. And I pointed out a lot. I doubt that New Zealand's will pick up because they hide their feed the most because they don't want you to see things, not see. And they'll swing a lie right in your face. Just a swinging, dangling. They don't even dangle the truth to Freddy. They dangle the lie. You guys don't even see it. Like some cells came through Canberra here. Probably popped a few flurries down. In the mountains. Sydney had a hell of a line over there, died over in the mountains. Boom, 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 plume, boom, boom, plume, and you. Boom, 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 plume, you. Boy, did you get sprayed like bugs. Absolutely sprayed like bugs. This is been sprayed like bugs. A picture image right here of the absolute crime scene known as your sky, where the murder is going on down below because of its fallout. The fallout of the EMF is going to be in the ground because that's an invisible wavelength. You can only pick up the readings on that with meters and devices. And half the times people filming them with a phone in their hand, you're going to get that off your phone. Hint, hint, film offline. Didn't show. Bzz, bomb. That's called all in the wrong direction. Or it's nucleating on the downdraft of the mountain spine over there. The thumbnail's getting a bit of a soggy pow. Maybe they're using a bomb to clean a fingernail out under there. Who knows? Kiwi's beak is getting a snuffle. Oh, the poor bird. Whether it's all made of stone now, they done crystallized it. Look at the bombs going off out at sea. Right here, big clusters going off. Keeping the catalysts in the sky that are needed for the atmospheric perturbation of the microwaves on the really big devices, the super darns, the HARP devices. Even things you don't know about, I have yet to know about. You got satellites in space that do things. You got lasers that do things. You got the actual shock waves of bombs that can create a frequency themselves through the clouds. Boom, 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 boom. When I look into the sky, I see the chem bomb lines, and I hear lies on the radio, and the ads say it's my fault. A cow is farting out somewhere, but I see bombs over here. They took your skies, we want blue skies, we want them back, we wanted them for so long, so long. We're doing something wrong in over Wyong. Can bomb, 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 bombs. Can bomb, bomb, bomb. Can bomb, 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 bomb. Can bomb, 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 bomb. We could choir that one. Can bomb, 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 bomb. I miss Mr. Blue. All I get is their lies about Cambridge skies. Is that a question? Am I leaving any question that this is not natural? It is not such immaculate ejaculate in our skies. It's not all just microwaves and plasma. All of that's going on. Yep. Look at the chemical catalyst right here, the domino. Ooh-oohs. Dominoes. Here's the flower of death. Repeated formations going on over across the nation. And it ain't totally loaded. I ain't even got all the coastline up. It said F you. You're not getting any names because you rubber cut it off too soon. Well, you know where you are yet. They ate half your skull. I have a feeling this site ain't gonna work. Yeah, I've showed you this other one, right? All right, let's see if that helps. Yeah, let's see if this helps. Yeah. Okay, fuck you. I'm gonna do it like this. Right. You want to do that's Italy. Right. They won't show it that way. I'm coming. You had terrible deployments yesterday. Let's see if they're showing. Right over here. The chem that came across yesterday is not quite showing. But the ones coming across today have to. Oh, we got crisscross to make you jump. We got a Jolly Roger skeleton. Oh, look like an ant. It's got his mandibles all out. Or is that the devil shaking his bum and walking away? I see the horns and everything. No, that's a chem bomb exploded in the skies off your coast. Right over here, the electrical connection will be made to transfer here. Somebody went and did some loopies over here and dropped some bombs over here, over there. Chem bombing all of your precious air. Bill Gates is coming, and his policies are numbing people into the grave on the polo ground Sunday. Over here and over there, toxified air. I swear to God, I want to see him hanging over there. Come on, is hanging still allowed as a capital punishment? Look at this formation here off the beautiful, beautiful, pristine waters of Australia that are not so pristine now. They're all toxified with a bunch of runoff from all these storms and all your pesticides pesticiding the oceans. Here's over Cairns. I'm chem bombing on my whales, chem bombing sea turtles. No happy bubbles from the seahorse. The starfish are no longer shining. They're washing up upon the shores. Boom, 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 boom. What color ice is this chemical refracting the light to release? It's not the same as the others. One of these clouds is not the same. It has an emanation point with lines going off it. Oh my. Chem bomb your sky. Got a face of a nasty guy over going, excellent. The alien for fuckers Sigourney Weaver's belly button is making an appearance over the coast of Australia in the form of a cloud. Waja. It's almost like Jar Jar Binks kind of name. That's kind of tongue twistery to me. We got another number 3 here. Over these atolls and reefs in the Coral Sea. Streamers of death over the Coral Sea. Hey, maybe there's a drought over here or something, and it needs the flower of death to toxify it. So maybe it could bleach suddenly with a chemical that falls out into it, so they could point at it the next day and say, hey, look what happened. Can we have some money to fix this? Well, they use that money to make sure they keep making sure some of it is fucked so they can keep taking your wanawanga. They want your wanga, man. On Wanga Beach. And I no longer want to give a wanga. No wanawanga. Me jabba no bother. With your jabba, I no bother. Me wanawanga. No wanawanga. Te wanawago. You eat chuta. Eat chuta. Yeah, that's it. Eat chuta skies. There's some nerds out there maybe giggling over that and my lack of putting that in a good context. Right here, and we're looking at Bowen. And over these clouds are the Bowen constrictors. They're taking the oxygen away and choking the life out of life underneath there. Catching on yet? And yeah, you guys got some weather coming too. It ain't all about the NZ scene. Hey, but I'm happy when I see that up there with not a whole bunch. But of course, Master Blaster over here in Bartertown has sold out already. He's already made his treaty with the devil. I'm sorry, any kind of political party just designed to make a treaty, it sounds like that's a corporation that should just make their side deal and let people vote on it. Right? I didn't make that meme, but I'm gonna keep it up. All done, Riley Whites. Yeah. Do your Bugs Bunny dance and tap dance. They cam bombed and fried you, pert, boom, boom, boom. Look at the crap coming over y'all. I'm gonna show it. And it was crap. You had so much crap going on the top of you, I swear I heard a toilet flush from over here. Yeah, how did you breathe today? Over these suburbs? Over the outback? Outback Steakhouse is driving a stake into the heart of my planet with this policy of geoengineering and Paris Accords needs to be defeated. Even the taxes alone, if you won't believe in this, you'll believe in your electric bill when it comes and your gas bill when you see this little extra thing, green tax or something. Remember the mask tax? Where did that come from? When you went out to eat, a little extra for COVID. Fuck you. Let the Bill Gates pay for it. He made all the money. Let Bezos. He was flying a fucking blue dildo in the sky while we were all here forced to be at home, hardly eating. See all the chemtrails go by? Watch. I'll show you. I've rolled that long enough. This one's going over that one. This is a low-level deployment. This is a high up. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 bombs, sudden deployment there, right on the line. I'm going backwards in time. 10-minute jumps. There's a big 6 right here. Watch your 6, folks. Another bomb deploying from the center of this mess. Right here. So we have a strato cruiser. There's one over here as well. Back 10 minutes, back 10 minutes. 20 minutes now, back from where I was before. Boom. Boom, boom, going to plumes over the top of this part of the country over here. As this line meets it, that's when you'll nucleate some storms. And then you've seen the crisscross pattern appear, which would naturally happen because of the waveforms, right? That's what, and the bombs that catalyze the waveforms are propagated better. Catalyze the condensates and nucleates, and you get those little particles, you vibrate them, and they'll get ionized, and they'll be a little bit harder, it'll kind of make a water droplet around them. It might be, they'll call it dust. Well, if dust is made in a factory, at least on purpose, for the purpose of getting something in your blood that transhumanizes you, and there's lots of things you can read about this and patents and that I try not to concentrate on. I concentrate on the stuff really that can help you cure. Look at the lines here, like something came along. What are they, the loop here, the cross? See it? See it? If you've seen it, why didn't you say it? Look, you don't care if your friends believe it or not. They'll wind you up just to watch you cry. Heck, I would. Nancy, Karen's and Nancy sitting in a tree, looking for something to bitch at that they see. Look at this crap here, blowing over the country, contaminated skies, fueling the storm, helping to walk it around the corner, while the waveforms out here all steer it along. You don't want to go this corridor, and a little bit of it will shave off and come this way. That's just what that's got to do. So we'll watch for that move. Look at the waveform coming across the ocean, changes to condensates. Peaks and troughs, stirring up the mix. Mixing the mix and the sickness mixes well evidence in how you feel in today. A little bit sneeze. Look at this crap off the coast of Harvey Bay here. See the square form here? See all the bombs out at sea? Look at this streamer of death going over the country here from Detroit. You had a deployment. It's not just a factory giving off a bit of steam. It's a deliberate toxification and pollution. See the zigzags in the dots? See it? See the bombs? They can bomb your precious skies. Guys? What are they going to use the guys of this time? Batman was last time. Is it going to be Catwoman this time? Everybody got to get rid of your cats. Oh, the dog did it. I got a cough. I got a sneeze. Everybody protect me. We've got to challenge our immune system, but not with these heavy metals. It's time to turn off the heavy metal in the sky. It's time for the tinnitus to end by turning off the huge microwave devices. That sells a lot of batteries, you know, for hearing aids, because I'll convince you got your ears are ringing for tinnitus. And meanwhile, you got like a Beavis head out here going, acting like a bunch of cornholios over there. It can't bear it. Cornholio. Can we call that Cornholioville after that? Because a bunch of Beavises and Buttheads seem to be in there doing what's best for themselves. Too much minus in the oneness that's supposed to be of governance. Center point here. You can be really high up and just drop them down. Change the angle a bit. Timing is everything. Like they don't have time fuses. My dad taught me how to do that with a firecracker to cigarette. I could do it to the minute. Let you practice because it was fun. See the bomb? It sharded, man. Pow. These ain't naturally occurring clouds. These are rows upon rows of things that are undisclosed. Undisclosed rows. Rows and rows and rows. They're not very good for your roses. And if nano stuff and hydrogel is still active in the dead, and I've seen all the stupid walking around, the zombies are already here apocalypsing. Yeah. Meanwhile, these waveforms over here were just absolutely been raising hell on this coastline here, from here to New Zealand, whammo, from coast to coast. Who loves you the most? Not the government. Government loves money. That's all you ever hear about from them is money. How they want a stadium or something for their buddies to come to town and do business, but yet you gotta foot the bill and the stadium leaves. Meanwhile, they're chem-bombing the population, so there's less people to complain, less people to pay all the retirements to that they took the money off of, you know, the grandparents and stuff. During their working years. But meanwhile, you come over here, go a little closer. This ain't healthy for their breathing. I hear reports of people feeling very sick that never had asthma. Well, I want pH check of this rain. I'm doing it here. I'd like you to do it there. So you know. If it's in the 6 point, if it starts getting below the 6s, let me know. Because you'll be getting burns on your skin thinking you get sunburn, but it's not. These are chem bombs going over New Zealand here and jumping backwards. Now we can watch how they proceed. They spray you because they know you're not awake. They spray you while you're sleeping. They know you're not awake. They say they need to block the sun, but it's not good for anything else. For goodness sakes, we gotta not do this. Really, it's just disgusting. Was that somebody sign your work here? Anybody keeping track of flight trackers? Did somebody do something odd? If he drew a penis in, I'm gonna see it. See it? See this whole field of crap going across. Another explosion right there. That happened at 2:20 a.m. A British Standard Time. Which was 3 hours and 40 minutes ago. There's a whole line of bombs here. Going out to sea, chucked out 4 more. This is the Bay of Plenty. Bomb, bomb, bomb right there. The whole thing. There's the donut. That's very low level deployment. Something came along in a line and deployed on each side of itself here and drew a big C because they're being cunts. Just following orders is never an excuse to me. Is it to you? And getting paid to toxify my planet, that's a paddling. The big one is going to give a paddling who does this. My God, look what they've done to you guys. Tazzy, you know better over here. Your air was no better. You're very low level deployments now. You got so many microwaves ringing through you on plus price. You guys don't glow in the dark. I need to charge my phone, just sit it on you. You'll all be a bunch of walking EMF emitters. Look at this bomb field here. This is so disgusting. Comes here, goes right over the top of these folks. All this crap here that's blowing up out of sea is coming in over you. Mountains forces to condensate down. Don't open your mouth and drink the rain. Here's the ass cloud. Cheeks in a big old shardy skies for you. And I'm out of humor on this. There's nothing humorous about this at all. This is so disgusting to watch the weather manipulation. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to stop for a minute. Read a few of the comments. And I'll say I can't always comment about all the chemtrails pictures sent to me. I very often might have already captured them. He says, I remember living in Tamworth, hearing the planes at night, and ironically the next day gray cover moved back to the coast. Interesting to observe if clouds blow over in this direction. If you get a lot of particles of chem in the air, it'll actually make the droplets too small to fall because there's only a certain amount of water to condensate. So chem can actually stop it from raining. Then you can move all that moisture that's now really in small droplets and a laminar flow in a particular layer of the atmosphere all at once to a place and then collide it together, vibrate it together. It uses somatic type technology of infrasonic undulation. There's your smackaroo there Saturday for both of you. Friday for the Perth area, Greater Christie or south of you, Kalgoorlie. Okay, so we'll be watching for that. Yeah, then you can move the moisture around quite easily. They're getting really good. Who's the geoengineers is who I refer to as a they. They're the bastards that think that my planet is their shit and toilet. They want to dump their toxic waste on us rather than dispose of it as they said they were supposed to do, which costs some money. It raised how much sulfur can be in the air through the shredding of the Clean Water Act. I'll go over that one with you. That ought to please you people. I'll show you who did it. Try not to get too triggered. As this unnatural low is forced to happen through EMF pinning down below, down south. Right? And you all know you had this days here. The big beam came down through here, so I'm not going to be surprised about some quake action. Not at all. When they say they want you to own nothing and be happy, and another guy says that there's too many people in the world, and he develops a vaccine, and even let slip one time if we do a good job with the vaccine, he basically insinuated that they would have less 15% reduction in population. If we do a really good job, we could reduce the number by 10 to 15%. And in one line, he was like grinning, talking about just getting stuff right in our kids' veins. You don't put stuff in our kids' veins. You don't test. Test it on yourself first. The real one that we give you randomly from the line. No. The medical experimentations on animals and humans is not acceptable. And experimenting on the climate of the planet with fallout of toxic things and a chemical on the periodic table that is only can be reproduced in laboratory or produced in plants and processing stuff or in the hot heat of exhaust plumes planes that go by, they might not be spraying anything. That chemical could already be up there, and the heat of the exhaust is catalyzing it. It's doing its job, making barium salts and things like that that often glow. And a perfect temperature for it as well. They are 500 is something degrees. Oh yeah, a lot of stuff happens, catalyzes. So sometimes that on and off switch you think is going on is really just pockets of chem that was sprayed in rows or fertilizer. And as we get in here towards the 19th, I very quietly just walked a cyclone into your country here, right over the top of the Kiwi's beak, hems in the moisture around. And if this forecast plays out like this, and I hope it don't, most of the water is going to come in here. Because this you'll get some protection as this low comes over. So your totals around coming in here are going to get rather high. Well, let's just think it better, because somebody said it was going to be higher. Right, I didn't show you the hard one. Alright, and it's not new snow on all of it either. That's only 6 centimeters of snow. Enough of that ain't snow. And if the snow came early here and warm rain hits it, that snow is coming down as floodwater. So we're going to be very vigilant and watch this very closely. You're looking 10 to 14 days. This action of this storm will impact this island. Coming here between the 18th and the 23rd. 23 seems to be one of their favorite numbers for some action this year. I gotta say, there's a lot of coincidence with weather disasters and the 22nd and 23rd of the month. And there's a Skull and Bones private club that was well known about that even Mr. Burns insinuated he was heard of, that this is their year. That's rabbit hole conspiracy theory. You know, I'd rather wear my tinfoil hat than to be in a casket. Y'all be wearing caskets. Tisket a tasket, I believe the news, I'm in a basket. Oh, is this storm worked its way over? Look at the pressure moves. I've really near hit enough. I've shown the chem. I've shown the poisoning. I've told you how wrong it is. I've told you some basic facts. And the fact is, it's going to take all of us. Every country must say no to the Paris Agreement. And this is all litigated in it. The Trans-Pacific Partnership right behind it. As these chem bombs in your sky are not being done openly now. When you say yes, our big blue marble is gone. Anything that needed sunlight is gone. That's all life at sea. It's every flower. It's every tree. And well, I have a feeling that you and I are the only thing standing between the full takeover of this planet by people that don't give a shit and make us pay for it. And I say, no more. No more. I am not this system's whore. Big love. Stay safe. Peace.